just like that, you guys are watching the most entertaining HVAC podcast in the world. Welcome to the HVAC Overtime Show, everybody. What's up, gentlemen?
Nothing much, man. I got a question to ask you, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have reusable refrigerant cylinders, right?
Yeah.
And we fought so hard against them. Don't you guys think that if we didn't fight against those, that we wouldn't have the stupid A2L drama right now?
Probably.
No, that was one of the biggest things that they said that Worthington in the beginning, that was one of the reasons why they were fighting against it, is because
Why?
they said there's no way for them to retool their factory to make the reusable tanks. They're not going to have enough. That's what I remember. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
So, okay, with your reusable cylinders, Joe, can you recover into those cylinders too? Are they one way?
No, they're we don't know. It's just like you guys, recovery tanks, but
Are they reusable then?
No.
You give them back to the manufacturer and they reuse them?
So they're one way.
Spend them and then you give them back and you trade them for a new
You
one.
can't put gas into them.
No.
They have a check valve then on them.
Yes.
Got it.
They're just recyclable then. Ours are recyclable.
Yeah, but I still don't understand the drama behind the getting rid of the one-use cylinders and going to the reusable cylinders. Like I didn't understand it. But
Well, it was I don't know. Did you start read? You probably didn't read any of Ty's articles that he sent.
Oh no, I probably did. I don't remember. I read Ty stuff, but
Well, no, not the stuff he was posting in our thing today. Like he posted a million freaking articles.
not today. No.
Well, one of them was saying about how many reusable jugs we go through on a yearly basis and how many of them end up in a scrapyard or landfill. And I think that's part of it is they're trying to like go green or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I finally got a jug of 454. I haven't needed it yet, but I finally got one. So I just got to sit in my van.
I got no dog in that fight.
I have to say though, the funny thing about the 454 is that it came with a reverse thread adapter. Like zip
that's the dumbest, dude. That is the dumbest thing.
The tank, though. Like, so everybody went and bought hoses and adapters because they were like trying to get ready for this. Like, got to make sure I have these, and it's like it came on the tank, man.
So stupid. It's like, what's the point of even if you're gonna have an adapter that stays on the tank?
Yeah.
Why do you have a reverse thread in the first place?
I don't know.
What's the adapter for? I guess I don't understand.
Because the threads are reversed, so your normal hoses don't work on it because you got to go the wrong way. So it's lefty tighty, righty loosey to put it on your tank.
Why would they even make the tank like that?
The thought process was they make you buy an adapter or they buy a special hose to use it so you don't accidentally fill a system that's not an A2L system. But the dumb part is
that's like
the adapter comes with the tank. So you just leave the adapter on the tank.
Yeah.
Use your same hose.
So it's
why
bother making an adapter? It just
my biggest thing is R290. We've been dealing it with for a couple of years now. There's no certification. There's no specialized training. There's no specialized tools. It's the same tank. It's same everything. And that's highly flammable. Like that can explode. 454 is not going to explode.
I want to find.
Someone told me this though. Someone told me this, and I don't remember who it was, but they said, yeah, but R290 is being used by refrigeration techs and A2Ls are being used by air conditioning techs. And I'm like, for real? Are they really saying that air conditioning techs are that stupid that they can't figure this out? I mean, I guess
Those
maybe.
are fighting words.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, why is it that we haven't had any fancy stuff with R290, but with A2Ls you do? I think it's the dumbest thing ever, dude.
I mean, that's kind of a good point. Why don't we have reverse threaded tanks for R290 or at least a child-proof cap on it so children can get into it?
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear I remember when 410 first came. Was it 410 or was it one of the other refrigerants? When they first came out, I swear that the tanks had a dip tube in them so you didn't flip them over. Was that with 410?
No.
Then it was another refrigerant. There was like a blend that replaced something and it had a dip tube in it. So on the tank, it says, do not flip over for liquid. Like you would just leave the tank upright.
I remember something like that.
It was one of the refrigerants that we got. It might've been a replacement for 22 or something like that. I don't know, but it had a dip tube in it.
You know what? You're probably right. It probably was 22 since everybody was used to not flipping 22. They probably built it that way so people wouldn't get confused.
No, 22 never had anything.
No, it's not 22. It was one of the.
You didn't have to flip to charge.
Well, You don't know because it's a single component refrigerant.
Yeah.
You can charge as a vapor or liquid, but everybody should be flipping their tanks over and charging as a liquid nowadays.
But
Our
if you're gonna
compressors can
replace
handle it.
R22 and everybody's like, this is a drop-in replacement, then they would build a tank that you wouldn't have to flip.
Maybe that's what it was for. Yeah, one of the replacements. What are you showing up here, Adam? What is this?
So this is the thing that I think is hilarious, and now everyone that's
Prothermal says it was Hot Shot, so maybe it was. And Hot Shot was a replacement for R12 and a bunch of other refrigerants. So maybe that's what I remember. It had a dip tube in it, and you didn't flip it over, which was just so dumb.
All right, so rewind a year ago or a year and a half ago, and everyone was so nervous about A2Ls, right?
Yeah.
And now that everyone has been installing them now for this year, it's been pretty much this year. Maybe some people did a few last year, but for the most part, everyone's getting their hands dirty this year with A2Ls, right? And everyone, hey, there's propane in it, there's all this stuff. There's obviously not, and it's not a big deal. But I want you guys to all consider all of the regulations and red tape that everyone has had to go through with A2L refrigerant, right? So we have new recovery tanks. We had to go through and get recertified tools and make sure that the tools we're using are A2L compliant.
But we didn't. That was a bunch of marketing crap. You don't need new tools. 90% of our tools work fine.
And what else? Now we have our the sensor on the evaporator coils, and now they have they have the red tags on the valves outside. There's all kinds of BS that they went through for this whole thing, right? Now, when you look at an A1 refrigerant like our 410 R22, look at the screen. That angle, if you guys, I'm sure you guys have probably seen this. Some of you guys have seen this, but the angle on the screen, that little angle, the A1, you have to, the flame, it's a combustion test, and the flame has to stay within that angle.
Right.
I lost you for a second.
Because your internet's lagging right now, dude. Yeah, your internet is bad. But I remember Jason, for now it is. I remember Jason Objute talking about this and like what the classification is for A1 to A12 to A3.
So just look at the screen. In A1, the flame has to stay within that angle. And then A2L, when they tested R32 and 454B, look at how minuscule the difference is in flame.
Yeah.
And we jump through all these hoops and everything because of that little difference in flame propagation, which what they should have done is just change the degree of the angle slightly on the test. And we wouldn't have to go through any of this BS.
What about this A3? What is this?
Propane.
A3 is R290.
Isobutane.
Yeah, propane. Which is highly flammable, unodorized. And I don't know. I just I get it. We need to be careful, but we made this. This is just like when 410 came out and everybody thought that they had to use a single set of gauges for 410 because you'd contaminate there was so much fear mongering with 410. And it's the same crap. It's absolutely so stupid. 3 years from now, we're going to be like, that was the dumbest freaking time of our lives. This is stupid. We went through all this crap.
You remember where they used to they would make us recover all the refrigerant into recovery cylinders? You remember how stupid that was?
Hey, I had an incident today. And we dumped 10 pounds of R22 into the atmosphere. One of my apprentices, I was like, hey man, we took the sides off of a coil, and he learned a really hard lesson today because he shot a screw right through the condenser coil. And I was like, what happened? And he's standing there I swear the look on his face, he thought I was going to fire him on the spot.
You should have, and then hired him later on in the afternoon. Because we talked about this in the super secret chat just for a minute.
Yeah.
And the reason we all remember that, I think it's because we got either yelled at or scolded, or we probably just felt really bad about it. But you had to you dig into him a little bit or something to make it really stick.
I just told him, I said, look, dude, I said, shit happens. It was a mistake. I said, as long as you learn from this and you don't repeat it, we're good. I said, if it happens again, we have a problem. So
look,
I would probably let him know. I would have let him know, just so you know, I'm being cool about this, but this is costing me X amount of dollars.
And I did. I told him, I was like, bro, I said, just so you know, I said, I don't want to make this sound like it's no big deal, like you can keep doing it. I said, this cost me money. I said, we dumped 10 pounds of gas, R22. I go, that cost the customer like 100 and change a pound. I go, that's not what it cost me. But I said, my markup on 22 is not that much because I'm trying to be cool right now. So I said, it did cost me a lot of money here. I go, but the first thing I told him, though, was we were on the roof. And I said, all right, I'm going to be clear right now. I said, I want you to understand something. I said, the customer is not paying for this. I said, this is on us. So I said, we are eating this cost. We're eating the refrigerant. We're eating the labor. This is on us. So I said, the bigger lesson there was, if this ever happens again, like, because this is what I stressed to my apprentices, I need to know before, like right away, when this happens, you need to call me and you need to tell me, and don't hide shit from me. Don't, like just put it back together and walk away. I said, because that's when you're going to get fired. I said, you call me, you say when shit happens, mistakes, whatever, because if I can't help fix this problem until you call me. And I said, you're lucky that the leak happened in a place that I could fix it. So I cut the side off the coil. We got in there, we sanded it up, and we brazed it shut. But yeah, it was a nice place.
We only do that when we're about to change the unit out and we got to get rid of the charge. That's the only time that's allowed.
Yeah. What happens if it was a micro channel, Chris?
Then that would have sucked. I mean, that would have sucked, but I mean, still, that's the cost of doing business. It really is.
Grab the wrong screw, or like,
well, this is the first time he by himself put the panels back up. It was just a Lennox package unit, and he didn't have the side panel from the condenser. It was the V-shaped condenser. He didn't have the side panel pushed all the way up, and the screw was going at an angle. And so I said, the lesson here is that before you put screws in there, I said, you find a place. I said, something that happens to me when I'm working on these units is I see things without even vocalizing it. I go, so when I pulled that cover off, I can see what screws are going to be potentially a problem. And I know where it's safe to just willy-nilly throw a screw in there. Right. So, he didn't know that. So I just told him, put the panels back on, and he puts it on, and he got one on the side, and then he pushed the panel up, but he didn't have it lined up right. So he went at a weird angle, and I go, yeah, yep. And dude, you should have seen, like, I mean, he totally learned from it. But like, I look over and he's like, oh,
I
like,
remember when my service manager did that, and he's like, "Do you hear that?" Fuck yeah, I hear that. What'd you do? Like, over there, I was just putting these hail guards on. I'm like, no. And I was like, take that hail guard down. Yeah, he went right into the coil.
Speaking of micro channels, let me show you something. It's shitty that I couldn't post them in the thing, but anyways,
Dustin, real quick, Dustin, he says he hasn't seen a jug of 22 in years. Dustin, I still use 22 weekly, dude. We still have I have more R22 package units than 410A package units out there.
Wow.
So, yep.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a minute, but
I guess you're doing a good job maintaining them.
Yeah, tanking my truck.
Well, it's so difficult to change equipment here, dude. The customers don't want to change the equipment because of all the hoops they got to jump through.
The hoops you got to go through in California.
Yeah. Anyways, go, Joe. Sorry with your story there.
It's okay. I'm gonna say this one job that we have for the company I work for. Let's say 100 Lennox units on a roof. Okay, and they're different phases.
Jeez.
And one phase there was at least 4 leaks on the microchannel cores. I think I mentioned this, and they waited till next year, which is this year, to fix them all because it's a huge budget, right? Well, thinking the other phase was okay, and they're a little bit newer. They're about 2 seasons old. And I was doing the PM with a couple apprentices, and guess what happened? Going around quickly, and I'm seeing this. There's one. Oh shit, it's hard to see on this one. That's one.
Oh yeah.
It's always the same fucking spot, that's the bugger about it, because that spot is the spot I tried to do it, and it's hard. Here's another one.
Sure your apprentice just didn't take a piss and like didn't tell you about it?
No.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe, real quick.
Yeah.
Put the center screen on Joe.
I like when you do this.
Neil C wants to know if that's a butt plug on your hat. Kind of does look like that. A Canadian butt plug, dude. It's a maple leaf, like goes in and it locks itself in so you can't get it out.
Like a T-handle butt plug, like a friend has to put it in.
That's like a permanent install. That's how
like
you
one of those.
Like a hook butt plug.
We call it the McRib Canadian butt plug.
Oh yeah.
Do you know those the anchors, the drywall anchors that they have two?
Oh
yeah.
Apart.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so he's in a snap. Like, so I took 3 pictures with 3 of them I didn't check them yet. I didn't leak test them, but there's oil there, and a couple of them, they was already freezing up. But I don't have time. There's so many units. Just clean coils and greasing belts and all this stuff with the guys, and a lot of hose. But anyways, it's gonna be interesting. This time I'm going to try attempt it just for the guy, because I already attempted on the other side. I will attempt it, but I will put it under vacuum this time, which I didn't do last time, and try to weld it.
We brazed one of those like once, maybe twice. Yeah. It went pretty well.
But was yours right in the tube and fin, or was yours actually on one?
No, mine was like right in the not in the center of the coil, but like right on the
fin
part. Like, and
these suck because it's right where the tube meets the fin, right in the corner. So you got thick tube, thin coil.
Like it's prep time. That like preparing everything is going to be your friend. Like mine was kind of easy. I just cut away the fins, cleared everything, and I kind of trimmed that part out a little bit, and then just coated it. Just coated it in silver.
So mine.
Sorry, Chris. Can I just I'm just gonna say, Al, have you had luck with it? Go ahead.
You hanging out with me and Jill? That's during COVID, dude. We had neck masks. We were apple picking, by the way.
Pineapple picking, probably. You know, pineapples grow out of the ground.
Oh my god.
So I have one of those microchannel coils out of York Predator that the condenser fan blade blew apart and just destroyed the inside of the microchannel, dumped the charge. I tried to go in there and find the 4 sections. There was 4 sections of the microchannel, and I isolated them, like cut them out, and I was going to remove them from the thing. I could not get the solder to flow on that. Like, it was a disaster. It was like there was oil in there, because I could get the solder to flow and it would go across. But then every time you'd pressurize, just come out. And so I got it to flow. Like, I wasn't melting the aluminum or anything, but the solder just would not stick. And my thought was that there was oil in there,
Yeah, I trust you.
Cleaning and everything.
When I first came to this company, sorry, Bill, I want to be another aha, look at me moment. And I failed on that one, on that attempt, because I couldn't do it.
And mine was, again, I wasn't trying to just patch a leak. I cut the microchannel out. On the header on each side, and was trying to cover the headers, just to seal them off, basically. And I could not get it to stick. So I had basically 8 little microchannel holes, and I was trying to fill them with the aluminum solder, and it just would not.
Did you use flux, Chris?
Yeah, you use the aluminum flux. You use the little metal brush. You use the MAP gas torch. You heat it. It flows.
No, see, I used my regular oxy acetylene torch.
Oh yeah, no, I just use because the oxyacetylene, they say, I mean, you could do it, but you really got to be skilled with your heat, because it applies so much heat.
With my heat, I did it somehow.
Yeah, I use MAP. I use oxygen. I use MAP gas. I use propane. I use acetylene. I've used powder solder, gel solder, the sticks from solder. What was a solder weld? I use everything, and I just couldn't do it.
I tried taking nitrogen, trying to blast the little microchannel holes to try to see if there was oil in there. Like,
out of there.
I was trying to do anything, but you know what? Whatever. I mean, I was trying to save the day, and then I was like, well, needs a new coil. And then the customer said, replace the unit. So we quoted it, and then they rejected my quote, said they found someone cheaper. And then I went back there a couple months later, and they changed the wrong package unit. So that rooftop still had the package unit with the condenser holes cut out. Only one circuit's working on it. And I was just like, let them figure it out. Not my fucking problem.
Repeating cycling can cause fatigue and stress on the coil, leading to potential fractures or breaks, especially if the system also experiencing other issues like low refrigerant. Good point. Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because I was with the apprentice, like, listen, why do you think this is happening on this location for these? And this, what went on? Because he's here longer than me. He's a younger apprentice, just started there. But anyways, he's like, well, I knew a couple of units didn't come with charge from factory. I'm like, from factory didn't come? Yeah, a couple of them, this is the one that you figured out that everything was opposite. So it was low charge. Someone could have overpressured it. Put a couple more pounds in it, because I looked at the notes, a couple more pounds in a microchannel. So from low to high microchannel, but that's that unit. How about the rest of the units? Like, what caused those ones to get, shitty? Like, what happened? And then I started thinking, okay, and I'm not going to say the names. I go, when he was washing the coils, because I'm using refrigeration technologies, obviously foamer and just hose. They used to power wash, and they used to use harsher chemical. I go, what was he using? blue stuff. I go, any blue stuff, no matter what company, is shit. Okay, it edges the coils. Blah blah blah. You've said it so many times. And
I'm gonna say this though.
Yeah,
I still have customers that I have to use blue on their micro channels.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because
I have
the grease.
Yep, because they're right next to the exhaust fans, and there's no way they'd have to move the package units over. So I just tell the customer, dude, these things are so impacted with grease that I have to use this cleaner. There's a risk. You either get an AC that works or you buy a new condenser every 6 months. Like, I don't, you know.
Right.
Don't they have a microchannel safe degreasing cleaner?
They do, but it doesn't. It when you get impacted grease from exhaust fans, I'm talking, dude, it's solid sheet. Like, that's how crazy this grease gets. And
why did ever think of that? Why is that not a consideration when they're designing this shit?
Nah, it's not.
Why did they design microchannels to begin with? How about that?
Well, microchannels were already being used. Yeah, they were being used in automotive already. So
automotive, yes. Okay, sure.
It's less refrigerant. You need less refrigerant because there's more surface area. It's more efficient.
Of course.
Supposedly. Smaller coil. Right?
Supposedly, yeah. And then you can't even retro. So, you know, I remember one time there was a senior guy who tried to retrofit these things, not these ones, somewhere else.
Like retrofit a tube and fin?
Yeah, because listen, sometimes it's just, how are you going to explain to a customer? Go, listen, we'll put tube and fin when we do it. But then the tracks where it sits is not going to be, you know, so it won't fit.
Work, you know that, sorry, go ahead, Adam.
I was going to say, you just use a little spray foam, Joe, to fill up the gaps.
So
imagine,
you know, when microchannels first came out, a lot of people were saying they're not going to use cleaners. They just use not dial, but what's the shit that's safe for the birds? That saved the birds in the Valdez oil spill, which Dawn dish soap, because it breaks down grease and all that stuff.
Yeah.
John's done a bunch of research on that, John Pastorello, and he basically says that actually that Dawn dish soap is worse for a microchannel than it's bad, because it's it creates problems. And John was even saying that there's certain situations where plain water is bad for the microchannels too, because it can disrupt the balance of whatever. We should ask John about it, but he can explain it. But
like, so there's certain coils that they say, like, not just microchannels. Like, I have on my Daikin heat pump, it's got a blue coating on the coil, and they say don't use anything besides water on it. That's it.
Yeah, those are the protective coatings. So sometimes you can order them from the factory, and then sometimes the factory will ship them out to companies. Like, I think one of them's called Luvetta, and then there's a couple other ones that do coatings on the coil, and they'll, like, through some sort of like electrolysis crap or something like that, they coat them. And when you do those, you're not supposed to use cleaners. But why on the earth would someone coat a coil that can't use a cleaner and send it to a restaurant that has exhaust fans? I don't know. Because the first time I see those coils after the units get installed, I'm like, yep, I'm going to use coil cleaner on it because it's covered in grease. What do you have to do? Yeah. Customers like, it's hot in here, we need it. And I'm like, well, here you go.
Yeah, you know, I had to clean a coil this past week on an older Bryant unit. I'm sure you guys, I don't remember the model number, but it's the older Bryant unit. It's like a 12-ton or something like that, and it's got the compressor sitting on opposite sides, and the condenser kind of wraps around the front, and then right in between the two sections of the condenser, there's a panel. You can pull that panel off, and then you can split both condensers.
Yeah,
I haven't split a condensing coil in forever, and this is a big fucking like 4-fan ceiling on this thing, a big 4-fan condensing panel up top. I had to go get like some strut and like a ladder to prop this thing up. So
thank you, Keith.
Split the coil, and it's just
shitty. Eh?
It had to be done though. Like, it hadn't been split ever. Like, I talked to the facility guy, and he's like, "Yeah, they told us not to split those because it was too risky."
Most people don't even
like. It doesn't work.
It wasn't even until late in my career that I learned that you had to split a coil. The manufacturers don't do a good job of telling people that stuff, because
I imagine on the really big units, you really have to be careful. And like you said, you strap it to a ladder, Bill, like as your.
No, I had to, because it's a big 4-fan panel up on top of it. So I used my ladder to push this big panel up on top, so then I could separate the coil.
But then when you start because you kind of pull it away, right? You're pulling it away from the other.
This one, luckily, I was able to wiggle it sort of inside the condensing area. So that's where I just kind of expanded the two coils inside the condensing area. But there has been times where I've had to just take, like, the inner coil won't move, but the outer coil will flex, and I'll have to go get like some cinder blocks or something to just flex that outside of the framework and then just support it that way.
Flexing them is always sketchy. I had to do one this week on a system that's severely deteriorated, and they're like, long story short, we can't get a crane because their parking lot is a parking structure, and no crane can legally drive on a parking structure and set up. So they're going to have two options: shut down the city street or get a helicopter to lift 5 units and make repairs and stuff, because they need a whole roof sweep. And I had to do what I had to do to get the AC going, and the coils needed to be split. So I was so sketched out. I was like, this thing's going to leak when I split it, because it was that bad. But I did it. It wasn't leaking when I was there. Maybe leaking now. I don't know. But that thing was like flexed out, because I had to stand on an extension ladder. I mean, on a 4-foot ladder to get up to the top, because it's like a huge curb adapter. And I was like, yeah, this coil is getting flexed right now. But
you know that spray wand that you use, Chris? I think it's like a Bon Air Ultimate water sprayer or something.
I don't use that, but I use an Orbit sprayer from Lowe's.
Oh, well, I got one. I should send you this one, or a link to this one. It's so much better than that one you have. It's almost like a power washer.
Does it have a rubber tip on the end?
No.
See, the reason why I use the Orbit one is because when you're cleaning coils, it's got a rubber end, and you can drag it across the coils without damaging the coils. And it just rests on the coil when you're washing them. You just push it back and forth.
I just use my arms because they have muscles in them, and I just
no, I'm not that strong, dude. Come on, anyway, like these itty bitty little little things right there.
It's because you're a vegetarian now.
That's
you
true.
need to eat a little protein, Chris.
Yeah,
177 pounds. I was on the scale today.
Good job. Good job.
Dude,
that's like high school weight.
Dude, I'm it's all on game right now. My goal was 175. It's not anymore, dude. 160 is my goal right now. And if I can get it down to 150.
I cut out sugar. I cut out processed food. It's been a week now. I ain't seen any fucking gains yet.
It's more than that, man. It's got to be a lifestyle change, my friend.
It is. I just cut out all those foods.
You got to be stressed to the max, to the point that you just don't even want to eat sometimes, and then you just lose. I might have a tapeworm. I might have cancer. I don't know, but I'm losing weight.
Out makes me want to eat. Like, I don't drink. I don't do drugs anymore. So eating would be the only comfort that I have.
Yeah.
So being
133, dude. The last time I weighed 133 was like 7th grade.
But he's a leprechaun.
He's
a guy.
Hambone had 2 strokes.
I know.
He's a champ. Brains are all scrambled. This is Hambone's brain on drugs, is what it's.
So Freon, if you're saying 170 at 4'5" for me, I'm not that short. So I don't know if you're talking about me. I am 5'10".
Depends, Neil. Are you 7 foot tall?
I am average all the way around, my friend. 5'10".
But yeah, Hambone is it's been a couple days, but I touched base with him a little bit. He's on the mend. He's doing better.
That's wild, man.
First thing I asked him was like, "Hey, do you remember the overtime show?" Because that's all that matters. He did, luckily. So it's good to see he's up and around. Speaking of listeners that are under the weather a little bit, did you guys see that post from Susie Dunn?
Yeah.
She's back fighting that shit again.
That sucks.
Yeah, man.
You know, Susie Dunn, she's like one of those chicks where, like, I would get in a fist fight with her, and then when we're done, I'd be like, man, that is one tough bitch right there.
Yeah.
So that speaks a lot to her character.
There was something, and I don't remember what. Oh, she made a post. This was like years ago, right after we first met her or whatever. But she made a post on Facebook, like not in one of the groups. And I remember I commented on it, and like somebody in her family, like her daughter or something, responded, and she's like, "I'll beat your ass."
Oh my god,
your ass.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I pumped the brakes there.
I would bet at like any given time during the summer, you could mistake that whole family for a gang of pirates and wenches.
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
So did you guys see our good friend and friend of the show, Jenry Garcia, was on this old house?
I didn't get to watch the video, but I saw the clip and I was like, oh, that's cool. I saw the comments too. They said Jenry was just like super chill, walked in with a backwards hat, just like he normally is. Awesome. I haven't seen it though. So
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
Really? Dude, that is awesome. What was the context?
They had there was a house that they were having comfort issues in, and he came in and he measured airflow with a flow hood, and they did a load calculation to figure out how much airflow they needed, and he realized, hey, you don't have enough airflow. Boom.
So what they end up doing on that situation?
That was the extent of the clip. I don't know if they finished the episode, but that was what was on YouTube. So I need to see the full version.
How did he get hooked up with this?
The Friends group.
Ross, what's that? His last name?
Tromboli or whatever. Yeah.
He, the guy from This Old House, he actually does HVAC, and we all met him at the symposium this year. He was presenting at the symposium.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say that there's been him, and isn't there another guy? 2 guys from This Old House have been to the symposium. And
what was that other guy's name? The dude with the bald head.
Yeah, and Brian's kind of friends with him, I think, and has had interactions with him. So I'm sure it was somehow from Brian linking people. And I think wasn't it that the house was down in like the Miami area too, where Jenry's at or something?
I'm sure.
I thought it was. So
yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's awesome.
We know somebody famous.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty close. Yeah. Rich.
There you go. Rich Trethry. Yeah, that guy.
Rich, yeah. And then is his son Ross Trethaway? Tromboli?
Yeah.
I got a haircut today, and it's weird because it was like a new person cutting my hair. And I wanted to like say, hey, can you like pull down the back of my shirt a little bit? And shave my upper back.
You shave my back for me.
Have you guys ever gone?
This freak.
Have you guys ever gone to a barber and gotten like a legit cut and shave?
No.
It is the most uncomfortable experience in the world.
Shave your face, like
yeah. It's cool because they like line it up and they make it look nice. But dude, they do like hot towel, cold towel, and then he like puts his hands there and starts. And I'm like, all right, yeah, no, I'm good. Nope.
I've had my beard like trimmed and like kind of lined out a little bit. But
did they like hot towel you and put it over your face and make you sit there and you feel like an idiot? Then they put a cold towel and then the dude like starts rubbing your stuff. And I'm like, no, uncomfortable.
It's amazing.
Let it grow. Let it grow.
Dude, I paid $450 for my 20-pound jug of 454B. I don't understand why it's $1,000.
It seems like a lot.
Well, it's because I think the supply houses are taking advantage. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. We started getting on another topic, Joe.
Go ahead.
How is 454B to get by you?
Very scarce. One supplier does not get it at all. They don't even know when they're getting it. United is, I believe, the one that had 1 or 2 at different locations, just one different location. And if someone needs it, it's gone. And who knows when they're, but like just one here and there are United different locations. They're not bringing it in. They don't care to bring it in because they really don't need it.
Hasn't even entered my world yet. Like I'm not even bothered by this. Like it doesn't even, hasn't affected me whatsoever yet.
Did you guys see that there was a post on, you probably aren't in these groups, but it was like a ice machine group. And this dude comes on and he goes, yeah, just to let everybody know, I got a bad drum of 404A. And so then the questions pop up, like what was bad about it? And he goes, yeah, he goes, I ended up getting it tested and it was the wrong refrigerant. It was like mixed. And so then I think I was the first person. I was like, where did you get this refrigerant? He says, I have a source. And I go, and then everybody jumps in the ice machine group and goes, well, when you start buying refrigerants from your cousin's neighbor, this is what happens. If you buy it from, and then I chimed in, I was like, if you buy it from a reputable supply house, then you take that refrigerant back and you say, I want my money back. This is bad refrigerant. And he's like, it's okay. I've been buying from them for years. They're a good source. And it's like, oh, they are. They really are. Like some people still, I don't understand why someone would buy refrigerant off their neighbor's cousin's brother.
Oh my God.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
It's cheap. Yeah.
But what is cheap? You make money off the refrigerant. Like I don't.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with 454B that you gotta consider.
Well, it wasn't 454B. It was 404. But it was just a guy buying it from his cousin. Like some stupid crap. But I don't understand that. Like I get in residential, you have flat rate pricing, and everybody's bitching. Well, with these prices, how am I going to make money? You raise your fucking prices.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the issue with that. Number one, our 410A is cheap as hell right now. And like that's what's annoying everybody. And number two, our 454B is pushing our 22 prices. Now, if you're competing against people locally, if you have competition and you're selling equipment.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody is selling an R32 system where you could buy the refrigerant for like 200 or 2 something a jug, and you have to pay $1,000 a jug, like it's gonna have to charge more. You know what I mean? And
I haven't even heard that over here, dude. Somebody buying like refrigerant from some fucking Asian man.
And again, this is 404. It's like the most common ice machine refrigerant out there. Like what? I just don't understand that. And then again, okay, so maybe on the residential side, they have a hard time competing with people, but on ice machines, dude, you're working like you mark up the refrigerant. If it's costing you more money, you mark it up. You make the same. Just dumbfounds me, dude. People that just don't understand business stuff. And I'm not a genius with business, but sometimes you see some of these questions in the Facebook groups. What are your prices? How much do you mark this up? And I go, that's irrelevant. The question is, how much money do you want to make? That's, you know, what does your business need to make? You know, markup is irrelevant when you need to look at the big picture here, you know, like, but
sometimes I barely mark it. It's all give or take. You got to
talk about this earlier, then I got sidetracked and totally forgot. Speaking of big picture, I just want everybody to know that I got scolded today by Chris because I didn't apparently do the big picture for a customer.
What did I scold you for? I forgot already.
Is that economizer? Remember that economizer?
But yeah, you're right.
It was a scolding. It felt like a scolding.
Well, no, because you almost did like a Joe, because in our private chat you were like, ever seen this before? And then later it opened up to so many more things. But the question was you were looking for a certain sensor, but I didn't realize that it already had a Jade sensor in it. It's like, oh, dude, you get the Jade sensor from any supply house, man.
Yeah. So I had this economizer that it was 70 degrees out one day, and it thinks that it's below 55, so it's just, you know, pulling in all that hot, humid air into the building. And I go out there and look at it, and it was just downpouring rain. So I made quick work of it. I bypassed the economizer. I'm like, all right, you're good to go. Your mechanical cooling supply temp is this, blah, blah, blah. Did the amp draw, the whole 9 yards. I'll come back when it's not raining out, because I don't want my mascara to run. So I'll be back later. And long story short, I had some things come up where I'm like, I can't get there today. I'm like, you probably just need a new outdoor sensor. So I'm like, all right, let's get that. So I call up my guy, I'm like, give me an outdoor sensor. He's like, cool, here you go. I go to pick it up, and it's this weird eyelet looking thing. It's a thermistor probe, a 3K ohm thermistor probe with an eyelet on the end of it. I'm sure most of you guys have seen one before. I hadn't seen one of these anyway. Long story short, it's a supply air temperature sensor and not the outdoor air temperature sensor.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Chris about that, and he sends me all this like economizer information he sent me this Bible for economizers, which is a very useful book, by the way.
It is an amazing book. If anybody, all you have to do is Google Honeywell Economizer Technical Reference Manual. Dude, that thing is badass because it has all the specs.
218 pages
of freaking amazing stuff. Yeah.
Well, so anyway, to get to the scolding part, Chris was like, at some point during the conversation, Chris was like, yeah, this is the sensor you need. It's everywhere. Look, it's on Amazon. You can get them at this place. And
that's because I said something, because I said, always get them at Lennox. And he's like, oh, no, you can get them at United, Amazon. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, guys, I'm just going to keep this economizer bypassed. I mean, we use free cooling like maybe 3.5 days a year over here.
I know.
I mean, it's the most useless feature that's ever been on a system. I'm like, I'm just bypass it. Fuck it, you know.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I bypassed but actually it wasn't the silk bus, Jason Johnson, so it was even easier. It's a dry bulb enthalpy sensor is what he had, and it's the non-silk bus one, so it can be used on the older Honeywell economizer thing.
Yeah, 7400, I think.
Yeah, gotta watch super pins basic. Are wider than the other.
It's literally just a 10K sensor. Is all that is.
That's what's in there.
Well, no, he had an enthalpy sensor, but you can literally just replace it with the 10K one and be done with it, dude.
Can you though? Because what I was reading on that enthalpy sensor says that I forget the numbers. Don't fucking hold me accountable to this, but it's 4 to 20 milliamps apparently. Like, and if it's,
you're right. Yeah, you do need to use the enthalpy. So you just need the solid state enthalpy sensor is what you need.
Yes.
So,
which they're never going to get anyway. So,
because I've tried doing that and I failed.
Well, you got to pay attention because, like what Jason said, so they do have the silk bus, which is their weird proprietary whatever thing. But yeah,
what is this? What is this? Breaking news: Hamilton can't poop.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Wow.
That's information I needed to know.
His butt muscles are numb. So if you're ever planning on going to jail, Hambone, now's the time.
Oh,
True.
yeah. Hey, now's the time to probably
go rob a bank, dude, because then you're like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
All that experimenting that your lady friend wants to do to you.
Oh my! Now's the time.
What do they call that again?
Pegging.
Pegging.
So we have another super top secret private chat that I don't know if you're in it, Bill. I don't know, but it's with a bunch of other fancy people, and I let my inner dialogue go.
I'm not fancy.
I let my inner dialogue go in that chat today, and I probably shouldn't have. So I said some things I probably shouldn't have said. I let people know that I'm not the really nice guy that everybody thinks I am. So
like
I was talking about someone.
Like somebody in the chat.
Do you know Brian Orr's in that chat?
Yeah. So he probably hates me.
Craig, you know Craig's in that chat?
Yep, he probably hates me now too. You know what? I'm on a mission to just be me, so I don't give a shit these days. Hey, Dustin agreed with me. Dustin said we all thought it anyways. So cool, problem solved about what I said. So
yeah, that's a good thing I'm down there. I was talking to Chris and the guys from TEC, Steve Rogers, and
jeez, yeah, your fucking comment.
I was talking to those guys about their. Are you guys in that chat?
No, but remember the time that you fucking used the analogy about a crocheted condom, and Steve Rogers said it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, crocheted condoms. They leak like a sieve.
Yeah. He said it's about as effective as a crocheted condom, and fucking Steve Rogers loved that one.
So we were talking about dual fuel package units, and he wants to get a heat pump package unit put at the TEC building, and we were talking about the possibility of that condensate freezing up as it's thawing off and where it's going to go in this. And I sent him a GIF of an ice skating rink with all these gay dudes kind of like skating on there, and I was like, "This is your roof, plus or minus a couple of gay dudes." And like, I didn't get a response, so I'm like, I don't know, is that bad? I mean, this is what I think.
Zach, I can't let everybody know, Zach, that I'm an asshole. Like, I got to keep some of my inner dialogue down. Like, only certain people, because really the masses can't know this, because I'd just be canceled. Although I probably, honestly, be honest, you wouldn't. But
I hope somebody slides up in my DMs and shares some screenshots of that chat.
So, but Steve asked me that question too, and I want to. What did you respond with, Bill? Like, because the whole question is, when you have a package unit, a heat pump on a roof, right? He was saying, like, what happens to the condensate? Because normally the condensate drains straight through. There's like a drain on the bottom.
Well, no, not on. I mean, if you're talking about condensate on the condensing coil, there's no drain or anything on those package units. Now, keep in mind though.
Well, no, I'm saying like when it goes into defrost mode. Yeah,
that defrost on that on the condenser would just rolls right off the condensing coil onto the wherever.
But if it
onto the chassis.
Well, because there's that bottom plate on the bottom of the heat pump, right? There's the underneath the condenser coil. Or not the condenser, it would be we'll call it the outdoor coil.
Yeah, there's just a flat piece of metal underneath those.
Bill, look at the super secret chat.
Right. But my question is that the coil itself is sitting really close to the bottom, right? So as ice starts building up inside that unit, like if it goes into defrost, Susie, we were just talking about you and your family and your daughter that threatened my life at that one time.
And Chris called you a tough old bitch, by the way. You should go back and watch it, or just take my word for it.
Yeah.
But no, so what we were talking about was that, like you said, that condensate dripping down and the freezing up underneath that coil, or even along the front of it, or just building an ice wall around it as it just slowly drips and freezes. So the consensus was, I think he's dead set on getting it. Package unit, which honestly in my area I don't see a whole lot of heat pump package units, because that's more of a commercial thing, and commercial buildings, I mean, they're not looking to be green necessarily. They're just give us a gas pack. I mean, you're probably looking at $10,000 for a heat pump package unit versus $6,000 for a.
But didn't you have that whole town, that area where it had, or that building that had all heat pumps package units?
Yeah, you did. The one that you put gas furnaces up there and they had no gas, and then they had to come in and put heat pumps or run gas to the building, and then you quit the company and never figured out what happened.
No, those weren't heat pumps though. Those were electric.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
I thought they were heat pumps.
Like even worse, there was almost like nothing available for him. But like when I was talking to the other two gentlemen about was how has nobody thought about this being a problem yet? I assume it's because they're not widespread. They're not, not everybody's using dual fuel package units on shit. But like the runoff in cold weather, is that like, how do people deal with that? Expect even in residential. I mean, eventually that's going to be a problem if you have enough condensate dripping off there. And I guess it depends on where you live, how high is the humidity in the wintertime.
A bunch of people, when I installed my heat pump, they were like, you need to elevate that off the ground so the condensate doesn't get in the bottom of the unit. And I'm like, dude, I don't need to worry about that in SoCal. Sorry, not my thing. Not in my area. I don't need to elevate my heat pump. I don't need pump ups.
Hey, say something in there, Zach, about how like she has she could resemble a pirate wench and like, or something about wenches and
You're so nice. You're so nice, Bill.
It's a compliment.
Is it really? So my wife is really bummed out because my daughter came in the other day and I come home and my wife's crying and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, Chloe, our oldest daughter, came in and asked where she could buy moving boxes from. So we are going through like an emotional roller coaster at our house right now. And then the other day, my wife was like getting all teary and she goes, I'm taking Chloe to Home Depot. And I was like, oh, I'll go with you guys to Home Depot. So I went and I was like, my daughter's like, I need like 3 of these boxes. And I was like, no, you're going to get like 20 boxes because you're taking all your shit. And then it started this whole thing.
Don't you do work at restaurants? Just fucking dig through their cardboard dumpster. There's millions of free boxes.
Yeah, I probably could, but I just went and bought her some boxes. But yeah, that's kind of crazy, man. Just to think that like my kid is getting ready to move out. Like that's wild, dude.
Where's she moving? Is she moving to like a dorm or what?
Yeah, she's actually she transferred jobs because she works at a hamburger place out here called In-N-Out. And so she transferred to another In-N-Out that's closer to the school she's going to go to, which is about 40 miles away from us.
Thank you, Keith.
She's actually going to go live at my dad's house for 2 months because she moves into her dorm in 2 months, but she starts her job like next week. So she's going to go live at my dad's for 2 months with him and then go to her dorm. She's going to the college dorm.
Oh, man.
So
you're not wrong, Chris, in your little screenshot.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I would add to that. Little houses are stupid, by the way. I would add to that.
Wow. Amazing.
Oh, man.
They call them tiny houses, by the way.
You know.
Oh, man.
I don't call them.
Yep. Yeah, I
So
couldn't.
I had dinner with Steve and Bill this week.
That's right. You went to Minneapolis, huh?
Yep. So we ate at an Indian place.
And Native American.
Did you get the shits after you ate at the Indian place, or was it good?
Like
Yeah, it was
tree roots.
Yeah, I was kind of puckering up for the rest of the next day.
Oh, did you eat spicy food, or was it just it gave you the shit you were on the toilet?
Yeah, spicy, but I feel like they imported the water from Mexico or something like that.
Oh, no. Got it.
I've never had Indian food.
I think my wife says I've had Indian food, but I don't know. But I mean, I've had I've had Indian food. Yeah, no. I stopped at a random Indian food restaurant in Georgia. Yeah, I did. And that was actually really good food.
Gas station Indian food.
It was pretty cool because I went to. They gave me a tour. They gave me a tour of the new energy conservatory.
Oh,
cool. So it's pretty freaking big, and they're actually putting an addition on it now.
Nice.
Wow.
They just moved in. Yeah, they've been in it for 9 months or something. But anyway,
they're like growing, right? They're growing and making some big moves, I think, aren't they?
I don't know, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know. I didn't ask any questions at all. We just ate silently and looked at each other.
We talked a lot, but it was cool. I bet you guys probably saw that post I put on Facebook. I was literally sitting in the lobby. I didn't make that up. I was sitting in their lobby waiting for them to come out. I looked over to the side, and it's a picture of me on a magazine, on the cover of a magazine, on that freaking coffee table right there.
That's cool.
I think that's right up there with being on TV.
So what is this, Joe, that you're showing us?
So this year, so I was going around, and we're new to this place, and it has two Rev Plus units. And I was showing the apprentice, how the cycle is whenever they're package units, blah, 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 condenser, evaporator, accumulator. And then I came across these things. And I didn't know what the hell they are. I'm like, there has to be. So I'm tracing them, trying to pretend I know what they are. But I traced them, and it looks like they're going to the condensing side on both banks of the condensing liquid side of the condenser coils. So tubes go in, and then they feed to I believe, I didn't follow them that extent, but I believe they're going to some kind of switch or something.
Are these like a digital pressure switch?
Yes, I think that's what they are. I never seen it before, and I was going to ask anybody if they ever came across it. And then I look them up. Sorry, and then I look it up, and it's in bar. So I'm like, oh my god! So this is why I
from
found
Canada. What else would it be in?
Well, no, it's still PSI. We do everything PSI. I don't know why I don't. This is like English and European stuff. Bar.
Yeah.
I don't know what one bar equals to 14 or something. But anyways,
does it have a variable speed? Does it have a variable speed compressor?
It does.
Oh, and then Brett just says it's just a peanut switch. It's not. Well, because when I saw there's a little button on it, so then it makes me wonder if it's not. So
what's a peanut switch?
Peanut switch is the little encapsulated pressure controls that you twist on that have two wires coming out.
Oh, okay.
So really, it's just the same as that.
Yeah, it looks
the
same.
Oh, that sucks.
So a stage. So they have a set temperature, I'm assuming.
Well, it says right on there. It says high and low pressure switches, precise setting and repeatability. I
couldn't find any. That's what I was trying to find, but yeah, I didn't look into it too deep.
Right there it says S3 at the very first line. S3 is a pressure switch with a fixed switch point setting. So it's fixed. It's just it's not adjustable at all.
Okay, it's fixed. Okay, cool. Yeah, and they have them on both banks, so I just wanted to see what they're set at and stuff. But yeah, cool. I never seen it before, honestly.
And that's Brett saying it's manual reset. That's what I was thinking too when I saw that little blue button on the side. I was like, wait a minute, it looks like a manual reset. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, it's interesting, like little things like that. Honestly, when you're doing a PM to a new place, and that's what I was trying to go with their apprentices.
Writing this shit down or whatever, and then coming home and like researching it.
Yeah, you have to do it. And this is why that's what I tell all the guys. I'm pretty sure you guys do too. You guys to learn, you have to do this. Or else, if I have a call or whatever to this unit, and I come across this or do anything, or something's not coming on, or I gotta know what it's doing. So. Anyways,
I mean, that's honestly, that's the case. That's everyone. If you want to get good at what you're doing, you really should do that type of thing at the end of the day.
You have to. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you really should.
Hold on, let me read this for a sec. That's why it's the solenoid. That's the other reason why I was questioning, because it's solenoid. So when the variable is running low RPS, it doesn't need to use the whole coil, which is usually that's the case, and we'll use less if the coil or one coil instead of two. That's what I was wondering. Why solenoid? Why solenoid? That was actually the top thing I was going to
Wait, you're losing us here, Joe. So what is the solenoid? That switch that you just showed us?
Yeah, this is it's like a solenoid.
It's
not like a peanut switch. There's a solenoid.
It's a pressure switch. It's a solenoid controlled by pressure, right?
Yes.
Is that true or no?
Well, that's what I'm assuming. That's what I think it's doing. There's a set point, and it's controlled by pressure.
Ask Jason. He's the one.
Seems to be range then.
So when variable is running low, it doesn't need to use the whole coil. Yeah, that's what, because they go to both banks, right? One back on the liquid side on the condensers.
How does that little switch prevent it from using the whole coil? I guess I don't even know what system this is on. Or
no, he's saying there's a solenoid on the system, not that switch.
Yes. No, that I thought that's what it. That's what.
Oh, you're saying that switch is a solenoid?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't make any sense because there's only one. There's only one pipe going to it. So what would the solenoid do?
Yeah, it's a scroll variable.
Where would the other pipes go? It'd have to have two pipes for it to be a solenoid that did anything, right?
It does. It has two lines. One goes. It has two of them. One goes to one bank of the coils. One goes to the other bank of the coils.
But bring that picture back up. That switch that you showed us.
Which hat is that? I'm asking for a friend.
He's saying my hat, the HVACR hat.
Oh, what kind of chicks is he picking up with that hat?
I don't know.
Technical.
It's like the chicks that wash their crotch in parking lots with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, the freaking lot lizards.
So you're telling me that switch right there is a solenoid?
No, it is not. That is just a pressure control.
I know.
Guys, there's a solenoid on the system somewhere.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That is just a pressure control.
Never seen a one like that. That's why I'm asking. And I'm pretty sure you came across them, Chris, because you do Rev Plus units and all that crap.
No, I don't.
Oh, no?
I work on light commercial equipment, dude. Super chill stuff. I don't work on anything fancy.
Please.
I'm basically a residential technician over here, dude.
Oh,
so I'm like one step above a residential tech.
Please.
Oh, so, I think what they're talking about with a solenoid is they're saying that if it's a digital scroll, it's going to have a solenoid.
Yeah, like Brett said, it separates the scroll set.
Yeah,
I think we're just getting mixed up on the conversations. That's what happens when you read one comment from a chat and then
I see that, Brett. I see it now. When I got the paper, the cut in,
this
cut
is
out.
Literally how Joe tells stories.
Like hands down, dude. Hands down.
He's here.
What was the one that I was giving you shit for last time when you were telling us the story, and then like you kept telling us more and you kept telling us more, and I'm like, dude, that changes everything.
Oh,
that was the last show, I think.
It's funny you say that, Brett, because there is two. There is two in the cabinet. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep. So what else is up? What do you guys got going on this weekend? Anything?
I'm working, dude, on my own job.
I'm on call, so I'm gonna probably be working. We're getting another
still super
hot, Brett. It does.
Is it super hot there?
No, it cooled off this week, but then next week it's warming back up into the 90s. So, yep. So
I didn't know they're out of Montreal. Interesting. And Brett knows, and I know.
Gross.
Thanks, Brett.
Canada's gross.
Whatever. What's relations with Canada right now? Do we get along with Canada or not?
Did you see?
I can't keep up with any of this stuff.
There was somebody. You guys saw that? Who was that dude that sat and hung out with Trump at the White House from Canada?
I don't know.
Arnie, the Prime Minister.
You're acting like I know. I don't know anything about Canada.
Jeez,
I know that you guys you drink maple syrup. That's it. That's the extent of it. You have
new Canadian in the White House.
He was a new elected prime
minister. He was a Canadian in the White House.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's the Liberal Party leader, dude. There was no friendly conversations there. That was cordial, passive aggressive conversations. Is what it was.
So somebody, I didn't really notice it because I kind of was watching it. I was working. I had it on the background. It was last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever when that whole thing went down. But somebody made a TikTok about it and they said, "Did you watch Trump's face when he was talking about?" One of the reporters asked the prime minister or whatever, like, "What are your thoughts on selling Canada to the United States?"
Oh yeah.
I heard that response. His response was actually good for him for standing up for that one. And he was like, and he basically gave an analogy that made Trump feel like an idiot.
I don't know if he made him feel like an idiot, but if you watch that video, the TikTok, because Trump's just sitting there with his head down, and the guy's like, "Listen, it's kind of like some of the things that President Trump knows. Like certain things in the world just aren't for sale, and Canada is just not for sale, and it will never be sold." And when he said that, Trump he's looking down, and then he kind of smirks and he goes,
"Oh my god." Oh jeez.
That's funny, man. I laugh about that stuff. I can't even think about it. My daughter she gets super upset about everything. Like today I came home from work and I could hear her telling my wife about something that happened. And I was like, at this point, I don't even listen to the news anymore. Like, what the fuck can I do about it? Like,
dude, it gives me anxiety. I just have to stop. I can't. I'm in the same boat. I just can't do it.
I just can't anymore. I'm just over it. I'm just like, you know what? There's a lot of weird shit, and half of it's true, half of it's not. I don't know what the fuck is true. I'm just going. I still have to pay my taxes and go to work. That's all I can do.
I've gotten to a point in my life where my TikTok feed is finally mostly thrifting videos, dumpster diving videos, and fake moon landing videos.
Dude, my TikTok feed is gay shit, fucking cringe shit, and a lot more gay shit. That's all my TikTok feed. And it's one of you that's doing that, but then
it's funny because the last week there was something that came in my feed and I was like, "Oh, that's definitely Bill. Thanks a lot." And Chris is like, "No, that was me who saw that."
Yeah, 100%. See, I'm telling you. I told you guys earlier, Chris is out of control. That's why I started a whole ass other chat
so
so I could get his wife involved, because I took that screenshot of like Chris's weird comments that he always makes in secret. I was like, look at, hey, come get your man. He's out of control over here.
Dude, they literally started a super top secret chat with my wife. And then like she comes in and it's funny though, because, oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that popped up on my feed. The freaking
I sent that first, and then he got it, and he sent it. He didn't realize. Oh my god.
Oh god. But no, my feed is so freaking gay right now. I don't understand why. It's just so
we look at things like elephant dicks.
Yeah, apparently so.
After we look at elephant dicks, we talk about elephant dicks. We're like, hey, what do you think that dick smells like? And then we're like, oh, what do you think? How much load do you think that thing can drop? And then we're like, oh, maybe. I don't know who said this. I think it's Adam, but it'll fill a kiddie pool.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I wonder who said that, Bill.
That was Chris who said that, or so. That
was
not
Bill.
Adam's like, yeah, I like it. I like stuff like that. I'm like, well, this is why this is why your guys' algorithm is all fucked up.
No, but it's funny though, because now you guys have my wife hooked, and she's like, oh, did you see what Bill was asking about? Or, oh, did you see what Adam was asking about? And I'm like, no, I haven't looked at the chat. I'm working. Like, the fuck? I don't have time to sit there and stare at a chat.
I don't know how this came up in my algorithm. I didn't share this because it was even too much, but it was one of those videos of a dude like wanking off a horse, and that's fucking weird.
Yeah, no. Yes, that one. That's the Power Rangers guy, right? Yes. Yeah. That dude, that dude, cringe is my favorite like Instagram. I try not to go on TikTok, but Bill drags me into it. But I try to go to Instagram and do the cringe content is fucking epic, dude.
I think that's the guy I watch eat peanut butter sometimes.
Probably.
You guys send weird creepy shit.
Yeah. Oh, the peanut butter videos, dude. What about the ones where the dude like makes the noises and sticks his hand?
Guy with the beard.
Oh, yes, dude.
Yeah, and he's like talking real loud. He's like,
oh, you're nasty.
Yeah.
That's
dude. Those things are freaking twisted, man. Like I send those to my wife, and she's like, "Stop." Yes.
Dude, that's what I sent. Yeah, I had it in my truck for Bill. Yeah.
What is this one? What is this?
Joe, you know you can put, like if you pulled that up on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
It's on my phone. Oh, it's too late. Too bad.
Too late. Wait, dude, I'm trying to be nice, Joe. I really am trying to be nice, but I can't not freaking confront you about the no shirt under the jean jacket, bro.
I thought he was wearing this.
I thought someone was going to ask me,
bro.
I knew someone was going to ask me. So I had no shirt on. Obviously, it's hot. It has shorts.
Obviously.
I have shorts on too.
Wait, wait. So your logic is that it's hot. I have no shirt on, so I'm gonna put a jacket on.
It's a jean jacket. Threw it on. It was right here. I'm like, all right.
Well, is that like Debbie Gibson's jacket?
Yeah,
dude.
Joe, I am trying, bro. I'm really trying. I hope you've noticed to not make fun of you. I really have been trying. And you do this shit.
No, he runs.
I am not staying out of Hamilton. You want to see my
what would the Texas Ranger do in this situation?
Yeah,
denim.
It's morphin time. Canadian, whatever source Rex,
like
whatever that
Walker Canadian Ranger.
I've been trying so hard to not make fun of Joe because I feel like one of these days he's seriously gonna fucking kill me. Never. So I've been trying, but then you wear a jean jacket with no shirt, bro.
I love things. I had it nearby. I had no shirt on.
Prove to us you got pants on, Joe.
Do you have pants on?
Shorts.
I don't think you do.
He has jeans that have been cut off, bro. They're daisy jeans.
You said shorts, but I see you. You always wear V-necks. You have gold chains and stuff like that. So I'm thinking they're probably a little bit tight of shorts.
No, not these ones.
No.
Crotchless pants.
How tall are they? How long do they hang?
These ones are above the kneecap.
Prove it.
Not today.
You're not wearing shorts, are you?
I am.
You're just freeballing.
I should be free.
Canadian Power Rangers, they can't morph.
They can't morph. The good one. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's called a Canadian tuxedo. You're right.
Yeah, we know better than to put Joe's phone connected to a computer and when Cyborg requests it, because Cyborg will literally like has some sort of a link and he's gonna totally like link to Joe somehow. So
I thought it was gonna be the Canadian thing. Someone was gonna make it like a comment about Canadian jean jacket, and Brett did kind of went there, but yeah, no, sure. I think let me just slip this on. I
literally thought you had that skin colored shirt on from a few weeks ago.
Nope.
Anywho,
all right. Well, let's wrap it up.